Hi Space Cats, I'm Dr. Maggie Liu and welcome back to my channel. NASA this week announced that they found water on the moon. So can you guess what we're talking about in this week's video? Yes, you got it, water on the moon. So NASA have a plane, Sophia, and no, it's not a space plane, it's a normal plane. You might be wondering what use NASA have with a Boeing 747, but Sophia, which stands for Stratospheric Observatory for Infrared Astronomy, is actually kitted out with a 2.7 meter telescope. As you may already know, the atmosphere blocks out most radiation except for visible and radio wavelengths. But at 13 kilometers altitude, we can access 99% of the infrared radiation that on the ground would be absorbed by Earth's atmosphere. This wavelength of observation is ideal to learn about the birth and death of stars, as well as to identify complex molecules in space. In fact, Sophia was the first to detect the universe's first molecule, helium hydride. The molecule formed 100,000 years after the Big Bang from helium and hydrogen, and Sophia found it in a planetary nebula, the remnant of a dead star. Now for another first, Sophia has detected water molecules, aka H2O, on the moon. The Clavius crater is where it was found, and this is one of the largest craters visible from Earth. This isn't the first detection of water on the moon. We already know that water in the form of ice can be found at the moon's poles. But this is the first time water has been found on the sunlit surface of the moon. And this is kind of surprising because the moon doesn't have much of an atmosphere. You'd expect any water lit up by the sun on the lunar surface to be just evaporated off into space. But that's not the case, and there's a lot of it. Well, maybe a lot is a little bit exaggerating. Well, okay, exaggerating a lot. The Sahara Desert has 100 times more water than what Sophia has detected on the lunar soil. But it's still a lot more than expected, and it means that something must be generating it. One possible theory is that the water could have been delivered by micrometeorites that have bombarded the moon's surface. Another theory is that hydrogen carried by the solar wind undergoes a chemical reaction with the oxygen in the lunar soil, and the radiation from micrometeorite showers triggers the formation of the water. Not only do we not know how the water got there, we're still not quite sure how it stays there. The water could be trapped in beady glass-like structures or wedged between grains of lunar soil. And if it's the latter, then potentially it could mean that water is much more easily accessible than previously thought. Right now, the scientists estimate that within a cubic meter of soil, you could contain up to a can's worth of water. Learning that there's not only abundant water on the moon, but also that it's easily accessible water is great news for space exploration, particularly since NASA planned to send the first woman and the next man up there by 2024. Water means that we can potentially sustain a human presence on the moon for water consumption as well as to generate oxygen to breathe. The water can also be split into hydrogen and oxygen to be used in rocket fuel. So the moon could potentially be a future galactic gas station, a place to stock up on fuel, water and oxygen. The scientists that made the discovery are not done yet. They want to map out the entire surface of the moon for water and see whether its abundance and its chemical form varies across the surface. Independent measurements will also need to be made to verify these results and make in situ measurements, because previous lunar samples from the Apollo era showed only trace amounts of water in the soil. And later this too seemed to be due to contamination on Earth. So don't get your hopes up too high yet. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching this week's video. Let me know in the comment section below what you want me to talk about next time. And if you like my t-shirt, you can get yourself one in the link that I'll put down below. In the meanwhile, if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to leave me a like, share and subscribe.